Hey, welcome. Mental Toughness Monday. Here we are, and we have our emotions. We're going to be looking at eucalyptus today. And I just realized I took I'm on the wrong screen. Okay, here we go. So, eucalyptus. This is the oil of wellness. It offers its protective presence as a buffer against invading or depleting energies. It's particularly efficacious when the body is feeling besieged and worn down. This oil serves as a healing guide when one is too overcome to navigate the path ahead. Eucalyptus reminds individuals of their ages old symbiosis with the earth's flora and the incredible healing that is available there. Eucalyptus teaches that the body stores unresolved emotional pain and trauma, which eventually reveals itself through physical pain, unease, or illness. It invites individuals to discover and address the underlying emotions contributing to their present symptoms. It also helps the individual who is constantly facing health challenges because of an emotional need to be unwell. It reveals subtle patterns of thinking that compromise the health and stagnate the flow of energy to the heart, chakra, and lungs. This oil expels obstructive energies and encourages individuals to reclaim responsibility for their own health. And there you go. It bestows trust on one's needs and desires, or that one's needs and desires can be met even if they allow themselves to be well. Eucalyptus trees have fire adapted to their environment, and some species have seeds that will only sprout after they've been burned. As such, this tree family teaches individuals that turning adversity into growth and devastation into new life. The essential oil invites them to inhale the breath of life deeply, reconnect to their miraculously resilient body. Eucalyptus's message is to keep the faith and believe that despite their afflictions and adversities, they too can be spiritually regenerated and physically transformed. That is just so powerful. This helps us to feel okay. So you can apply it over your lungs, chest, or throat, inhale from your body bottle or diffuse, and it helps you feel less vulnerable, um, like the bad kind of vulnerable, less of a need to be unwell, less clingy, less defeated or despairing or imprisoned, less powerless to heal, and to feel more protected, able to heal, whole, well, liberated, encouraged, and resilient. It goes well with breathe, fennel, lime, patchouli, and spikenard. Okay, so this is kind of awesome, don't you think? This is like, whew,
I
I mean,
love it.
it's perfect for this week. But I was talking with someone yesterday who was discussing a situation with one of their children who has just kind of had this kind of chronic illness and or kind of unwellness, not like a chronic illness like it that's been diagnosed or anything, but just kind of this chronic unwellness. And this was what we talked about. As I said, I think it frequently speaks to emotional pain, and it could be generational as well. But I know that for myself, um, we just worked really hard as kids, and I kept
It's
working really hard as adults, and that was one of the things that we I learned very very early in life, was that if you wanted to rest ever, you basically had to mostly die. So that was how it was going to be. So
we never said, "Oh, honey, you better go lay down."
no, that never happened, not once.
Um,
So but it's really interesting because those patterns, of course, the way that I interpreted that was that the only way to ever get a rest was to be sick. And I have lived that for my whole life, has been like, and I've asked myself many times at the different times when I've been down with my back, or I've been down with, whatever has been going on, that sometimes as I'm laying there in bed, I'm like, is there a point at which you could understand that it would be better to take a rest than it would to keep going until you collapse and need 4 days off? And so after my mission, which I returned home 6 months early from my mission because I had chronic fatigue syndrome and kidney stones, and I was just a mess. But I got a job as a um serve pro technician. So they clean up. I don't know why this was the job I got, but that's what I found. But anyway, they clean up after disasters, right? And I worked for 2 weeks, and then I had to take like a few days off. And my boss called me and he said, "Here's the thing. I need you to come to work every day, but I need you to every hour sit down for 10 minutes. Put your feet up, sit down, put your feet up for 10 minutes. And the guy that's your coworker, you guys are going to teamwork together. And his job is to make sure you stay sitting down for the whole 10 minutes. Because I need you to come to work every day." And I was like, wow, that is a lot of sitting on your butt. It was really hard for me to do because of this, ingrained like work, work, work. You have to work until you die. You can rest when you're dead. Has anyone heard that? Has anyone said that in their family? Because that is just trash right there. So just take it out of your whole belief system. Don't rest when you're dead. You'll think you have to die to get some rest. That is not true. You do not have to die to rest. You can sit down for 10 minutes every hour if you need. And by the way, I did not miss any more work. And it was really kind of an empowering thing for me. I've still struggled over the years, but there have been many times when I've looked at that and been like, you could do better about noticing the cues, right? Like, listen to yourself. So I love that Eucalyptus has so much of this that can just like help us to believe differently, to look at things differently, to feel differently. So I'm excited. Hey, that's my thoughts about it. What are your thoughts? Chris, if you're talking, you are muted and we need to hear every word.
I thought I had it's so I like the line in here. It's the third paragraph. It says it reveals subtle patterns of thinking
Yes.
that so subtle. I mean, we don't even recognize
Yeah.
that it's happening. So just use eucalyptus.
Yes. No, I love that too, because if you're able to, I watched this woman talking about working out. Some of my family are like really into health and stuff, so they send me stuff. And anyway, I watched this video of this woman. She was talking about working out um, like post menopause or later in life. And she talked about how if you've ever worked out, then like lifted weights and stuff, then you know that part of your training is you train to failure as a young person. But as an older person, you always leave two in reserve is what it's called. And so I told my husband after I watched that, I was like, this is my problem. I work to failure.
Then you can't even hardly crawl into bed.
And I can't do anything for days. So I'm always like two in the tank. That's what he calls it. He's like, let's leave two in the tank. I'm like, okay, I'm thinking about how that's gonna look. Who I can get to help me.
That's right. Leave two in the tank, hon. I need you.
That's right. He wants one of the ones left in the tank.
No, I don't want you to take a week to recover,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. Yep. Okay. Other thoughts about eucalyptus? By the way, Tim, I put this in your diffuser this morning.
I put it in my diffuser with Shinrin Yoku overnight with my husband, and I brought it out to his table where he was sitting, which after which he promptly left.
Oh,
But he said thank
so
you,
you're
and
enjoying it.
he enjoyed it, and I'm enjoying it. I put the Spanish sage in there this morning with the eucalyptus.
Oh,
Right. And because we learned so much about Spanish sage from Dr. Hill this last weekend, which was just amazing on the support for brain health.
So just
And
FYI,
we're recording, so be careful whatever else you're going to say, Mom. Go ahead.
in the new book has brain fog in the index.
Oh, very cool. Yes, and Spanish sage is so helpful for so many things brain related. So get it in the diffuser. And I loved that also because It's so easy to get oils into your life if you're breathing them, right?
Hmm.
Okay. Other thoughts on eucalyptus?
I love the phrase eucalyptus teaches that individuals hold unresolved emotional pain in their heart center and significantly in their lungs. Right? We know the power of breathing, but also I've been learning a lot about the heart. And right, God does a lot of good work in the heart, but we hold a lot of emotion in our heart, which is pretty powerful because you think the heart's the center of the body, but what comes out of the heart goes to the rest of the body. And so
Yeah,
if your heart's not good, and you're holding this deep emotional pain, guess where it's all going? It's going to your
right.
whole body. And so, really removing that emotional pain in your heart can be beneficial too.
Wow, I love that. Thank you. Good point. Pumping it all the way through. I
So I
love
need
it.
to underline that. What paragraph was that in?
I think it was the first one. Yep.
Oh.
I have an old book, so maybe it wasn't even in there.
Well, this is yeah, this is a 13, year 13. I mean 13 book edition.
But
So it should
it's
be there.
1, 2, 3,
It's the second
4.
paragraph in the on the
Okay.
app. Restores unresolved emotional pain and trauma, which eventually reveals itself through physical pain. I don't know if it says that about the heart, but that's really beautiful. Thanks for sharing that with us. Hmm.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's sentence 4 in the first paragraph in my book, so I don't know where it is in yours, but
That's okay.
Here we go. It reveals subtle patterns of thinking that compromise health and stagnate the flow of energy to the heart chakra, and lungs. So it expels obstructive energies. But I love what you're saying too, is that the heart is what's sending everything out. And so not only is the flow of good energy being obstructed, but even bad energy can be circulating because those things that are stuck in our hearts, those old emotions. That's beautiful. And
Nice.
this encourages individuals to reclaim responsibility for their own health. You've got this. We can do this emotionally and otherwise. All right, we have just a few minutes left, so we better hop over to our 177 Mental Toughness Secrets of the World class. We are on number 99. Yes?
Mhm.
Okay, the great ones are aware of their limitless potential. People operating at the poverty, working, and middle class levels of conscious awareness, seem to be governed by beliefs which keep them bound um, to a life of quiet desperation. Because most of us inherited or learned our beliefs from well intentioned amateurs, it makes sense that the majority of us are convinced we can only go so far in life. Champions know this to be a colossal myth that has held millions of people in a mental prison. By the time most people figure out they've been sold a bill of goods, their lives are nearly over. The most common regret mentioned by residents in nursing homes is I should have tried more things and taken more risks. The world class either receive professional level programming as children or they are lucky enough to be exposed, mentored, and influenced by one of the great ones along the way. The latter is far more common. Champions wake up one day and realize their possibilities and potentials are almost limitless. They realize that if they are willing to pay the price, they can build a mentor and support team that can help them to accomplish nearly any goal or dream they can envision. After this realization, only a small percentage of people actually take the next step, which is deciding on the single thing that they want more than anything else. This will be the primary focus and the driving force of their lives. Most people fall by the wayside because they simply want too many things half heartedly. The great ones make a decision, build a team, and shake the world. There you go. And the quote is by William James. Stop. Um, Compared to what we ought to be, we are only half awake. We are making use of only a small portion of our physical and mental resources. Stating the thing broadly, the human individual thus lives far within his limits. He possesses power of various sorts, which he habitually fails to use. There you go. Okay, thoughts about this?
I think I've
Well,
told this. Oh,
go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Christy. No, you were.
Just quickly, I think I've told this story before. In here it says, I should have tried more things and taken more risks. My dad told me about having the opportunity of buying some desert land in Nevada. And it ended up being the strip.
What?
Yeah,
Man,
yeah,
yeah, that's a lot of glitz and glitter down there.
That might have been a good investment.
yeah.
As long as you didn't have to live there, I guess.
Right. As long as
But
you weren't
there's temples, there's everything there. You got it.
not on the strip.
Not on this trip, but within reach. Within reach.
But it grew up to be a very abundant town.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Is your point. He was going to buy, he had the opportunity to buy a piece of land in the desert. And he was like,
Yeah. Didn't want
yeah,
to take the risk.
nope, I totally get it. Like, what are they going to do with that? Yeah. Like it's not oceanfront property. That's for sure.
But it wasn't
Interesting.
a it wasn't a slanted mountain piece either.
A what?
It wasn't like a hill that was slanted down
Yeah,
either.
yeah, yeah. No, true. It was probably flat. The strip
Yeah,
is pretty,
it has good foundations for homes and
right? You could do
things. So,
stuff with it if you
yeah,
could figure out the water. Yeah,
yeah.
no, there would have been a lot to consider on that, but it is interesting that I like that you thought of that. And so, like, what are the risks that you're afraid to take now? And that you don't have to answer that out loud, but start thinking about this is like, what are the risks that you're afraid to take, or the
So
risks that
many.
I'm afraid to take? What'd you say?
So many.
Yeah, right. So sit down and make a list of some of those risks that you're afraid to take and start looking at what could you move towards? I think also that I
Hey,
liked that he said,
Brenda,
yeah,
time check. It's noon.
thank
Oh,
you. The time, the single thing they want more than anything else, and make that the primary focus. So, what is it that you want to do? What is it that you're going to do as soon as you finish? Blah, 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 all the obligations and whatever that you have to do. So make a list. Okay, your action step for today, ask 5 people who really know and care about you to give you a list of your 5 greatest attributes and talents and why they believe you're so gifted in these areas. You may be surprised at how others perceive you, and these lists may inspire you to tap some of the talents you don't even realize you have. Be sure to make a copy of these lists and put the originals in a safe deposit box or somewhere safe. These lists will be a source of motivation and inspiration for you for the rest of your life, especially during times of doubt and despair. That's actually a really good suggestion.
Yeah.
Okay. Any final words?
bye.
I love eucalyptus. I love the smell of it in the breathe. And I love that it is so helpful when we are tight and congested, and it just kind of opens you up.
I love how connected it is also to the limitless potential, subtle
Mhm.
beliefs. That's
So the belief.
awesome.
And the
Yeah.
cool thing about doTERRA's is it has, well, the new ones, not the old ones, but the new ones have 5 species of
Yes.
eucalyptus, which is really cool.
And that seems to make it more potent or something. What?
Makes it smell a little different, huh, Grandma?
Do you
He
like
swore
it?
up and down that something else was in my bottle besides eucalyptus because this is just eucalyptus. It's older.
Uh,
But it's
so you
probably only one species, so it's still only
Yeah.
eucalyptus. It's just more.
Yeah, it's
It's
only one
yeah.
species.
I think I might
So
have an old one because I like have no idea. I'll
it
have to
mine
go look it
doesn't
up.
mine says only one
Yeah,
in
the
the
new one,
least.
you get like a whole list of ingredients.
huh,
And
Wow.
this one isn't one that you can eat. There's no um
supplemental.
supplemental facts on that one.
Oh,
So
mine
that's
has a long list. I must have a new one.
so
Okay.
does it have supplemental on yours?
No,
Probably not.
no.
Probably. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
still no. Okay. Awesome. See you guys on Christian's Call.
Thanks.